name is Sten Laureyssens. I'm the strategic advisor for the Waves Association, and I'm gathered here today with Suterusu and Gravity, with Huang Lin and Aleksei Pupyshev. We're here today to discuss the start of a partnership that I think everyone is pretty eager in terms of getting the ropes off. I would like to shed a light today on what precisely the integration would look like for the two projects, but it would be really great to also get an idea of who's behind the project, how did we get here, what do both projects want to achieve, and to sort of get a better grasp of what exactly we can expect coming in the future from this collaboration. Maybe it would be good if you guys both could give a very brief introduction of who you are and what your position is in your project. Maybe Huang, maybe you could jump off.
Okay, sure. So my name is Huang Lin. So currently I serve as the CTO of Suterusu project. I'm a applied cryptographer by training, so I have 2 PhDs, 1 PhD in applied cryptography from Shanghai University, and the other is about privacy preserving distributed system from the University of Florida of United States. So I used to work as a postdoc researcher in Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, EPFL in Switzerland. And then I worked as a associate principal engineer in S3, Hong Kong. During which I worked basically as a applied cryptography engineer, and I was the PIs of several projects, which was supported by millions of Hong Kong dollar fundings. I published over 20 papers on applied cryptography and information security and privacy with over 1,000 citations. So, as I mentioned, I'm basically a applied cryptographer by training, and I've worked on privacy preserving systems for more than a decade.
Wow.
So, it's very natural for me to enter the blockchain sphere. Actually, I used to I started to work on a research topic on blockchain since in 2015, I think. Yeah, I worked with a professor from Cornell, Eric Hughes, and his students, and also some students and professors from EPFL regarding a blockchain-based data monetization project. And that's when I started to, to be interested in the blockchain sphere. And, eventually I started to think maybe I should go out to fund a company, to fund a project regarding privacy preserving blockchain project. And that's how everything starts. Yeah.
Aleksei, is that the same time for you when you joined the industry, or how did it start for you?
No, 2013 actually, and it was interesting how I joined. I just met a girlfriend. Joking. No. So used to people join crypto because a lot of people convinced them to join, right? No, it wasn't same way. I also have some academical background, but in natural science, in neuroscience actually. I was really interested. I was really focused into like brain-computer interface and a lot of stuff with molecular biology, etc. Did a lot of research and have several publications also in both directions. But after some certain understanding of what's going on in neurophysiology, etc., I started thinking that there is not enough science. And we have to build machine to teach us how to learn science. So in that case, I started learning computer science. Mostly, I don't have finished computer science education because I was started by my own. I just was working with different PhDs who was my scientific advisor. Aleksei Pupyshev, he was from University of Southern California, was specialized in digital signal processing. So we used different like mathematical models and like algebra to understand how brain works, and we did a lot of like research in that space. But after that, I just understand that I can program. So after a lot of like stuff with the data analytics and data science and machine learning approaches, I understand that I know how to code. Yeah, but I also understand that there is a lot of lobby from pharmaceutical companies to actually make a trends into the biomedical space. So this is not fair, but it as it works. Like drugs has pretty nice business model, so that is hard to compete with this thing. I was really upset, but changed my specialty into more focused on economics and more focused into computer science, etc. I was for a long time, like for 8 years, data scientist with any fields related to with data science, like machine learning, like big data, business intelligence, because I was working with an American company called Rike, and it was a lot of stuff with big data, with AI, etc. And I also worked with Mail.ru Group, which is a Russian company, and we built a lot of AI systems. I was an AI architect there, and we built a lot of systems for anti-fraud, anti-spam detection, etc. So there's a lot of background with AI right now. But after like several years of doing this work, architecturing, team management, etc., I understand that it is not open. Like AI is not open. Any company, they have secrets, they have their private data, and the AI works only if there is data inside and there is a source of data. So I started thinking that we have something which is not solved, and this something is autonomous agents, is like open autonomous systems which can learn, which can function within the mix of economical incentives and also solving technical tasks. So and crypto was really interesting in that space, because before that I was working as a data scientist and quantitative researcher into algorithmic hedge fund. We did a lot of like trading bots, mostly focused on arbitrage, like calendar arbitrage or inter-exchange arbitrage, and our bots was really cool for some time, but it's really competitive space. So there's not any time best machine learning system wins, but most important is connection and speed of your like internet channel, etc. Or how close you are to
the server.
Like to the exchange server, like you have to be like much closer in the same building. And but it was boring actually, because you are doing that stuff, you are teaching bots how to trade, how to do understanding of market, etc. But you can't understand what you're doing actually, so there is no like big purpose. Of course, I did some explanation for myself, like I am providing liquidity, but it's like a trick, because everything we did like speculation on the micro level. But at the same time, this hedge fund was also involved into different crypto projects. It was 2013, and one of the projects
not many projects at that time.
Yeah, but it was a good time for Bitcoin mining. Like it was a lot of hype still, but most of hype was with nice equipment. But anyway, it was also hype of pools, mining pools. Like people tried to just like let to use their equipment for someone else, and it was like mining pools, and also good start for crypto exchanges. There were few exchanges, and it was one of the it was the best time to do crypto exchange and just win the market. So I was involved in everything. Like I was involved into volume modeling for crypto exchange. Right now it's one of the famous exchange actually. I can't say the name, but you definitely know it. Also anti-fraud models into Bitcoin pools, because there is really easy to detect who is trying to cheat. And I was involved, but I didn't understand that, because everything I need, everything at that time was related in like speculation mostly, and like anti-money
laundering. At that time or this time too?
I don't know. Like after a couple of years, there is smart contracts included into the topic. So I changed my mind. But anyway, at that time it was only related with shitty marketplaces for buying drugs, etc. So I also just moved to enterprise market, doing big data, doing the AI, etc.
Yeah.
But again, about my girlfriend, she started in 2017. She started working with one of the ICO, and right now she's my wife, but at that time she was my girlfriend. She started working into Syndicator. It was one of the successful projects in 2017, and I invested. Of course, my girlfriend is working here, so I invested. And I did like my best investment in my life. Actually, it was my first actually, and it was my best, like 20x. I didn't withdraw money. I started thinking that I'm like a genius and I can repeat the success
of course
multiple times. Yeah, and I did that in the end of 2017. So you know what
everyone did that
happened after that.
Yeah. Time, yeah.
You know what happened.
And everyone
that,
thought they would be like the next, I don't know, Warren Buffett or
of course.
Gates. Yeah.
I thought that I was more smart than average, but
of course, yeah.
Because I'm engineer, so I know how everything works. But it wasn't true actually, because I lost almost everything at that time. But after that, I left my job, so I did some kind of money in that investment anyway. I left job as an AI architect, started traveling. Like I visited a lot of cities. For example, I visited 21 countries and more than 30 cities. In 2018, I started advising projects as an architect, mostly like
typical
architect.
The typical route, right? For a lot of ICO family office investors, right?
Yeah, of course. But it was fun. It was fun. I'm trying to consider this time as funny vacation for 1 year.
It was a funny vacation in a way.
Yeah, and in that time I met Waves, because at that time it was one of the hottest project, because everyone tried to do their own ICO, and Waves was like one of the good choice, because it was like second project for ICO in terms of quantity of ICOs. So I started speaking with them, joined console team. Console means like person who traveling a lot and trying to communicate behalf of the project. So I started traveling, speaking, advising, and consulting. But after market went down, so I started to understand what I can do. And Wave suggested, like we agreed with Wave to create online course for developers. And it was my first project. I rehired my team again, because it was funds involved. And after that, we agreed with Sasha Ivanov to build Neutrino. So you know this project Neutrino.
And the last
and the last thing is Gravity, because as I said before, I know the power of composability and the power of open system and different economic incentives, and I'm really big fan of it, because it is infrastructural.
We can touch on that later in more detail, probably, I guess. So I have two broad backgrounds, one a little bit broader with girlfriends and wives involved and travel. Did you also travel like a lot for blockchain, Huang?
Yeah, I travel a bit, but I'm not a big fan of traveling, so
you prefer to sit down in one place and work. No, that makes sense. I would ask, how do you think that like, was it a logical follow-up for you going from like writing papers and like, I mean, I think all your papers were written about like cryptography or like data security, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So for you, it was like a logical flow going from like one, did you like, was it your idea to start Suterusu, or did you like start it with someone else together? Like how did that go?
Yeah, so when I was working for S3, I sort of worked as an applied cryptography engineer. So before that, you know, I totally worked as an academic.
Yeah.
You know, in
like
academic work. So you know, everything I did just writing paper, designing algorithm, and we worked a little bit with some kind of startup, but mostly we work on theoretical things. But after I traveled, you know, I transferred my job to S3. We start to, you know, work on some real project, and and we start to at that time I started to work on two projects. One is about, you know, post-quantum anonymous cryptocurrency. We started to work on post-quantum Monero, if you remember.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, Monero is a very famous anonymous. Yeah, but you know, we start to design lattice-based Monero basically. This is one job we did, and we also work on another project. Is about fine-grained access control over digital ledger. That's a project we work with some Hong Kong banks, like, you know, BOA. Yeah. So we sort of provide proof concept type, a prototype for them basically. So you know, at that time I start to really, you know, start to really do some real work, and I start to realize how limited, you know, the kind of research I did, you know, when I was an academic. And this is the motivation I get. You know, I think, you know, it's not sufficient to just work as a researcher or just do some kind of, you know, prototype. When I was as an engineer in S3, you know, I got to get into the real world and, you know, do something real. And really change people's life.
And when you say that you, sorry to interrupt you, but when you say that you, when you started realizing that you wanted to move from something theoretical to something like practical, like what idea did you have in mind? Like what was your core idea? Like maybe I'm guessing here, but you were coming from like your strong background, like academical background of writing like privacy focused research papers, and you're like, okay, let's combine this into like an actual product. Like what was your vision that you wanted to start out with?
You know, when I was doing the R&D in S3, I sort of also worked on project regarding like ring signature and generalized proof. So I've got some results, you know, about how to improve the efficiency of generalized proof.
Okay.
And I also, you know, because I work on post-quantum anonymous cryptocurrency, so I'm very familiar with the technology adopted by those anonymous cryptocurrencies such as Gcash or Monero. I know very well what kind of defects, what kind of disadvantage they have. So one key question about these, you know, protocols is about, you know, those generalized proofs, they usually require trusted setup, and trusted setup is a very big disadvantage. It's a huge potential security risk. And on the other hand, you do have, like, you know, generalized proof scheme that doesn't require trusted setup, or we call it trustless generalized proof scheme. This is the underlying tools for Monero, for instance. But the problem with those schemes is that it's not very efficient. It's not scalable enough for, you know, sophisticated functionality to be built upon it. And this is why, you know, I start to think, okay, can we have a trustless generalized proof scheme that can support very sophisticated, you know, functionality such as smart contract. Such as DeFi.
So this is that was your core like starting point for Suterusu, where you said like, hey, coming from Monero, we have this, like, we see that there's a gap in the industry, more or less, and
yes,
like,
exactly, and you know, also I also believe, you know, privacy is a missing piece in DeFi, in the DeFi sphere.
Absolutely, we are missing.
And this is why we, you know, start this project basically focused on building privacy preserving functionality for the DeFi, you know, for the DeFi sphere, because you know, at the moment we don't really see any kind of project that really focus on building privacy preserving functionality for DeFi sphere. And
like,
you know,
another one. Do you like would you say that there's another project that's really focused on on like solving the privacy in a good way from your personal perspective?
At the moment, I don't think that there's, as focused as good as us, in my opinion. Yeah, but of course, there are some other projects, for instance, like Chainlink, right? They focus on designing, price oracle for the DeFi sphere, and they become very popular. And
of course,
I believe Suterusu has a great potential to become the Chainlink for the privacy preserving DeFi sphere, because we are very dedicated and we have very superior, superb technology in terms of the the security, and both in terms of the security and performance. The GK constant scheme that we developed has a almost constant size proof, and also has very efficient zero proof generation and verification, and it's tailored design for the DeFi schemes. And I believe it has great potential to become a top-notch project. Yes.
Maybe a question for both, like why is privacy so important for DeFi, maybe as a missing piece, but also in general, like why is having privacy in like we're seeing a lot of liquidity pools with a lot of yield farming, etc. Like why is privacy important in maybe either in this part specifically or in a larger part? Like why is it such a crucial point? Maybe Aleksei, you can take that one first. I want to see your unbiased opinion.
It is our nature, actually. I mean, it is not about tech or like needs, etc. It's just our nature. We have something we can say, we can show, but we also have something we don't want to show, because every time we are doing that, we are creating the chance for people to judge us, and it's actually it doesn't like it shouldn't work that way. We have to have a power to split what we want to show and what we want to keep private for our own circle of people or whatever. But if anyone from the world can check my account, etc., I don't like it, and because there's a lot of actually.
You lost all your money. You said that your account was empty anyway, so it doesn't matter if someone checks it.
Yeah, but problem is not actually privacy, but traceability mostly, because you can do some job. Your competitor can find your account or some hypothesis. There is your account, and there is a lot of like place for monitoring and a lot of stuff for understanding. So in that case, privacy matter, because it is competitive advantage if you are a business. Of course, if you have a business and everyone from the world can control all your like cash flows, etc. Of course, you are in a bad situation. Because it's actually insights, etc. But if we are speaking about like persons, it's also like I have something which I don't want to share, and I want to pay
maybe I'm touching on a different topic here, but is that something that is like crucial to keep a society running, to have that privacy level?
Of course, because sometimes I have some secrets, and they are always like legal, but it is secrets, like
it's like having a bank account. No one knows what's on your bank account, essentially.
But also bank knows you, and if you are trying to buy some stuff, you can have advertising, for example, at the same time. It's not quite nice to have. So in that, this is just basic sense of freedom. Actually, it really connects to freedom, because if you're under like watching from someone, it's a bit hard to leave. So, but anyway, in DeFi, it's a bit different topic, because DeFi, as I see now, mostly came from arbitrage bots. Like most of volumes goes from arbitrage, and it is really cool because there is a place for making this market more efficient. But at the same time, when we are speaking about DeFi, the last target audience are users, right? And if we are not solving privacy questions for them, they are in trouble also, or they will feel that it's not secure to use that.
Yeah.
Not secure in terms of like tracing. So yeah, so it's just basic feeling and basic thing which has to be solved. Like with cash, because if you have a cash, you has much more power to use that. No one can block it, no one can trace it. Like you can use it as your real money.
Yeah.
Keep it.
But cash is limited in most places. Not in Russia, but in a lot of places outside.
But crypto, in white paper, in Satoshi white paper, it was like digital cash, right? Introduced like digital cash.
Yeah,
so, but
I would say for digital cash in the current.
That's better. I mean the idea. Yeah. So, but cash is anonymous and the private and like
it will disappear,
you can use it.
I think. Don't you think? Like in let's say 25 years, don't you think that cash will be almost entirely gone?
Let's see. I don't know. I think we will have some chips also in 24 years because
we will have some other issues. Cash won't matter anymore. Huang, what do you think? Do you think cash will disappear?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think this thing exists for like probably since the dawn of civilization, right? Human civilization.
But it's already disappearing slowly in China.
Yeah, but
don't you think
there's no dollars?
Like everything on a private blockchain, what they're doing now, essentially?
Well, I think privacy. In my opinion, privacy is a rigid demand for both the cases CeFi. CeFi basically means traditional finance, right? And DeFi. Why? Because let's say in the CeFi case, right? Everyone of us have 1 or 2 bank accounts. But anyone with common sense will never tell the others what your bank account is. Let alone tell others how much money in your bank account. Another example is the the digital renminbi, digital yuan, the Chinese money that everyone nowadays is talking about. So when the Chinese central bank launched the digital renminbi, it clearly stated that it would solve the privacy issue of digital RMB. And also specifically they proposed a concept called controllable anonymity. Yeah. So even for Chinese government, they also take the privacy issue of this, selfie very seriously, right?
Yeah.
So that I think that says something, right? Lots of people in the world care about the privacy. And I think if you turn our head to the case of blockchain-based DeFi, privacy is even a more prominent issue. Why? Because the blockchain itself is a fully transparent distributed ledger. Anyone can see the content recorded in the that ledger. That means your account number and your transaction amount.
Yeah,
is
not everyone knows, right? Like it's
exactly
public key, but
yeah.
If you start transacting with some people, they might figure out who is who.
Yeah. And
the longer we run, the more we know, essentially. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is unimaginable, in a case of traditional finance.
Correct. Is it bad? Like, is it that bad? Don't you think that we will move to a society where the government eventually will know everything at some point? I mean,
do you want to let the government know everything? I mean, this is the problem singly. I mean, this is not just a problem with the government. I think it's a problem with everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Hell is the others. I think this is what satire said. I think the French philosopher.
It's a sensitive topic, I would say.
Yeah. So privacy is something. I don't think Western discourse. Usually people talk about privacy. They talk about privacy against the big government, the big brother, or whatever. But I don't think so. I think privacy is about something, it's about your own personal sphere, right?
Yeah,
that is about
true. Isolate yourself, your own information, your own private information.
Yes.
From the others, anybody else, right? This is not about against the government. And I think lots of people have this kind of concept of personal sphere, personal space, especially regarding your private information, your money, for instance, your financial information. This is extremely sensitive information, right? You live because you have money. you get up, you eat because you have money. You do everything because you have money, and your financial money is what keeps your life going on. And I certainly believe lots of people care about that financial privacy. And if DeFi, it's supposed to become a sort of mainstream infrastructure, right? That can really become a digital peer-to-peer digital cash, like what Suterusu envisioned 10 years ago. I believe privacy issue is definitely something we need to solve in the DeFi sphere.
Yeah. Do you would you say that like maybe this is a more conceptual ideology, but would you say that having privacy is a natural right, in a sense that we should have it, but to the extent that I mean that it doesn't become illegal? That because this is, I mean, people say like, with crypto you can fund terrorists or you can fund XYZ and money laundering, but you can do that with cash too, and it already happens with. And actually, I would say that it's even more traceable through crypto than it is through other means. But would you say that it's like a challenge for you as a project that's focusing so severely on privacy, even coming from a Chinese team, like that people often make an incorrect conclusion almost of like, they're focused on privacy. Automatically people are trying to like do money laundering and create a structure for like hiding money.
They're doing that for crypto as well.
yeah, of course. But would you say that it's like
okay, so let me give a data. I think I remember there was an interview with a lady who was a prosecutor of I think Judd Robert. The one who run the Silk Road website, that website that website uses Bitcoin to sell all kinds of illegal drugs, right? So that lady who is a prosecutor of Pirate Robert, she said, almost all the money laundry in the real world, using not traditional finance, not crypto. Almost like 99% of these cases is never charged.
Yeah, and they're usually never solved unless there's like very big proof.
Yeah. So I think that comes to the case of DeFi. I think traceability is not necessarily bad if we can simultaneously guarantee privacy.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I'm a strong advocate of controllable anonymity, or accountable anonymity. Let's say.
Sure. Yeah.
So currently, we are totally focused on anonymity, right? Building anonymity, but this is the first step. We definitely need to have privacy, anonymity, as the first step, so that people can first have privacy, and then we can start to consider the case of accountable anonymity, or traceable anonymity, so that we can guarantee the let's say accountability and anonymity simultaneously. We can guarantee the balance of these two properties.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Would you say that this this personal opinion that you have on privacy is this also like how Suterusu is implemented? Like, could you give me a short explanation of like what Suterusu is trying to achieve, and could you tell me, is your personal opinion like the same vision for Suterusu in a way on privacy?
Okay, so I'm going to first introduce what Suterusu is currently working on, and then I'm going to talk about what exactly is my personal opinion plays in the vision of Suterusu in the future, if that's okay with you. Okay, so Suterusu basically is a universal privacy preserving protocol based on our very unusual GK construct technology, which can turn all transactions involved in the mainstream DeFi protocol into private transaction, and thereby protecting the security of users' data and assets. We believe in the future DeFi should only have two modes. One has a completely transparent transaction. All transaction parties' data are public, And the other account will use Suterusu to protect transactional privacy, regardless of whether it's built on blockchain platforms supporting smart contract or not. So as I mentioned, the underlying technology is the state-of-the-art GK constant scheme without the need of a trusted setup. Our scheme has an almost constant proof size, and proof generation and verification are extremely efficient. Based on our original zero-knowledge proof scheme, Suterusu also launches a pseudo virtual machine that supports both anonymous payment solution for smart contract platforms, such as Ethereum, and anonymous Bitcoin cross-chain payment solution. And based on our technology modules provided by the pseudo virtual machine, a variety of privacy-preserving DeFi functionalities can be built, such as collateral, loans, and decentralized exchange, etc.
Like an anonymous decentralized exchange, you mean, or like?
Of course, it's anonymous. All these are privacy preserving.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk about okay. I'm going to talk a little bit.
Can I double check one thing? So you said that you believe that DeFi should have like two versions or two modes for Suterusu. Like one was that all transactions should be
transparent,
like anonymous but public, right?
So everything is on blockchain, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
On this business,
obviously.
So what I mean is people can choose the mode of the DeFi, right? You can choose to be completely transparent. Basically, it means you don't need to use our protocol.
Yeah.
Or if you use our protocol, then everything is going to be anonymized. Everything is going to be confidential. This is my point. Okay. Currently our project has lots of great partnership. Of course, we are partnering with collaborating with Waves and Gravity, and we also have our partnership with other DeFi projects such as STPD, CZZ, Meter, HyperDAO, etc., etc. We're talking to also talking to other well-known DeFi projects such as Compound. So regarding my vision about this accountable anonymity and the relationship with our own project, currently we still focus on building the privacy preserving functionality for the DeFi project. But in the future, we definitely will take this balance between this anonymity and accountability into our account in the future roadmap.
Yeah.
So this is what I can say about my opinion regarding the balance between accountability and anonymity.
Yeah. Okay.
Same question is for. Can I ask some question here also?
Yeah. Jump in.
Like organic, one of the so we already have some privacy coins on the market, and they have their own algorithms, etc. But I've never heard about any projects which has success with moving or wrapping those tokens into another chains supporting smart contracts like Ethereum, Waves, and Tron, whatever. All chains which are supporting smart contract. Is that possible to make it via Suterusu infrastructure? I know that it is not about which blockchains you can like mix up, etc. But it is more about it is really hard in terms of like engineering point of view and also scientific point of view to build ZK on top of another ZK because you have mixed formulas and there's a lot of theorems you have to prove before doing anything. So what do you think?
Yeah. So what I don't.
The question is what is your plan to migrate those privacy coins into another chains and support privacy for them on those chains?
Okay, so as I said, there are mainly two kinds of technical modules here, right? So
yeah,
our two technical module. One is about anonymous payment module for the smart contract platform, and the other is about anonymous BTC cross-chain payment modules. So for the anonymous payment module for the smart contract platform, it's kind of like a second layer protocol. So as long as your project support a smart contract, then we can build a we can sort of build a plugin module that can ensure your payment is anonymized through invoking the Suterusu anonymous payment module.
Yeah.
Okay. But for the BTC cross-chain payments anonymous payment scheme, our framework is kind of like WBTC. If you remember, WBTC they involves several roles like in merchant, like buyers, and also like collaterals. So we sort of have all those roles, but except all the operations, for instance, like atomic swap, it's going to be anonymized using our GK Constellation scheme. So this is how we guarantee the privacy of the BTC cross-chain payments. So basically, these two modules basically covers all the cases in the blockchain sphere, blockchain payment schemes, right? Because there are only two kinds of blockchains. One that can support smart contract. The other is if you don't support smart contract, like the scripting language is kind of like BTC, then you can use our BTC cross-chain payment scheme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aleksei, does that answer your question?
No, I'm asking about Monero on Ethereum or on Waves. Like if I'm a fan of privacy, I already know and have some bag of like privacy coins, and there's like dozens of privacy coins, like Monero, Zcash, BM Green, etc. So, but there is no still solution to wrap them and to provide like privacy.
Okay, but those are independent cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
They are working. They're not working with other ecosystem. We are like second layer protocol, which can so like plug into the other public blockchains and then anonymize the underlying payments. So our business model is quite different from theirs. if you understand my point.
Yeah, of course. Just wondering just wondering that your technology can actually keep privacy for those coins and move them to another chains as well, with keeping privacy.
I don't. Let me see what you.
Yeah, and second question is about data compressing, because then you have ZK, you always can compress data, right? So in that case, if you are layer 2 on top of blockchain, you can use ZK to actually compress data. So like you can do a lot of like aggregation of different transactions, and you're aggregating that, and on the on-chain you can execute like much less computations for transfers.
Oh, okay.
Or like,
so you mean like GK raw, right?
Yeah. It's
I understand zero logic proofs can be used to make a smart contract platform or maybe general blockchain platform to be more scalable, to improve the scalability of those platforms. I understand that. But at the moment, I think GK rollup has its own problem, in my opinion. For instance, it's possible. For instance, the verifiers. I think GK rollup framework they have this role that I think it's called aggregator or something that sort of is responsible for generating part of the proof so that they can aggregate those proofs. If I remember correctly, I think there's some problem there because. If let's say aggregator collude with the miner, it'll be very easier. It'd be a lot easier for them to launch the front-running attack.
Yeah,
I've done a little bit of research on that part. I think theoretically, it's very likely to launch this type of attack. So, but of course, on the other hand, to improve the scalability of the platform is not our major focus. our focus is to build privacy preserving functionality
Yeah.
for the DeFi protocol. So,
yeah, just nice applications on top of, you know,
Yeah,
this is
of
why
course,
I'm asking, like, if you're deep in that space, you like any collaboration with your technology is actually helpful for solving our problems.
yeah, we can
for
definitely
European chains.
dive into that part if that's your focus.
Not mine actually, just wondering.
Aleksei, let's move on a little bit. Could you maybe give us a quick wrap up of what Gravity is? What are the specific differences? And give some explanation on like how that was shaped and why it's there essentially.
Yeah, of course. I have
short,
yeah,
like nutshell, yeah.
short is one. Imagine chain link and remove token.
Okay.
Short explanation, but of course I'm just joking.
It's just chain link or it's more?
Of course it's more, because if you remove token, you broke everything. So in that case, you have to think how it should work properly. And in that case, you are introducing another principle. So yeah, of course it's not chain link, and there is a lot of differences, etc. But for people, it's easy to understand, but it's not actually chain link, because chain link is not focused on interchain communication, but Gravity does, and we are doing a lot of research here and also doing development in that space as well. So, and in that case, you can imagine Gravity is the project which solves three important questions and problems at the same time: oracles, interchain communication, and sidechains, like sidechain scalability. So in that case, it solves like all three problems, because all those problems are requiring oracles for making things like working. So in that case, this is what it is. But it is blockchain agnostic. It means that there is no dedicated chain there. Their project functioning. All smart contracts are supported in all integrated chains, if it's possible. I mean, if it's possible in terms of smart contract support. So all integrated chains within Gravity, they have same respect. So there is no like leading blockchain, etc. And all participants connected via peer-to-peer reputation score. So it means that there is no token, but there is a reputation model. So the system is open, so anyone can join, anyone can run the node and be provider. But the problem is the trust can be solved algorithmically right now. I mean, there is no trust consensus or whatever, because this is something outside blockchain. This is something like probability, our measure of probability of hack or like bad actions, etc.
So how are you solving
it? We did the same as it is in our society. It is karma or reputation score. So it means that I'm a node. I know what's going on in the community of nodes, and I can provide peer-to-peer score. All those peer-to-peer scores are collecting, and after eigentrust algorithm, we have like scoring model who has bigger reputation, who has less, etc. And everything is based on that. So there is manual type of increasing reputation. If you found someone who has like big importance in the industry, you can ask community of nodes to increase the rating manually. Or at the same time, if there is node and unfortunately it was hacked, all data from this node will have huge deviation from the general data consensus after aggregation of the data. And in that time, there is automatic shutdown happen, just because nodes can read the logs of any data provided by another nodes. And if there is deviation, they are immediately sending scores to zero. Like, I don't trust this node anymore. It's happened automatically. Like, there is no manual work requirement. So in that case, malicious node or node with bad actions or whatever, they're just shut it down. And
how are you dealing with malicious nodes? Are are you like, how are you dealing with the funds essentially? Because there's two ways of approaching that. What route?
Of course,
choose?
there is tricky slashing approach. We are saying that we are not doing slashing, but slashing is more a general term, and the Gravity just locked funds for a long time, for a year or 2 years. It depends on how community will choose. Yeah. And also losing reputation means that you can't withdraw money. Money, it is cash flow from transaction fees. Like if you are node operator, you are working as a data provider or cross-chain transfer provider, you are earning cash flow in native token of integrated platforms or in most liquid tokens of supported platforms, even stable coins. So in that case, Gravity is very flexible. I mean, there is no dedicated token, there is no dedicated blockchain. There is a like a framework and the service model for target chains to join, to play in the rules and to join this community. So this is
like functionality to that network essentially, and functionality of others or get access.
So, and they are solving problem of trustless and decentralization by introducing some automation consensus, like they are doing aggregation, commit reveal scheme, etc., to protect data, to keep it unique within the internal ledger. And at the same time, we are bringing, from the beginning, we are bringing DAO-like mechanics, of choosing which level of trust which nodes actually have. So in that case, this system can become self-balancing. Of course, in the bootstrap period, we are making connection with the industry leaders, right? For example, with Suterusu, we are doing that conversation, we are doing that integration, and of course, in that approach, we will have solid network of validators in that field, and after that, we can do services on top of that. So this is the general approach, and tokenless approach is making everything easier because there is no focus on different types of marketing, but mostly on doing technical stuff. So only marketing we are doing right now is to build a solid network of validators and to create actual mutual benefits. Because if we are suggesting to be a node, we are also can be a node for for a project, and we can participate as a team, and all our partners also can join because it's not so expensive to do. I mean, you can just run some machine on the cloud and you can support it. You have communication, so it's nice to have, nice to spread knowledge, nice to spread,
And maybe experience. One specific question, you mentioned that it's token agnostic. Like, what impact does that have to not have a token, apart from 1,000 people in the chat asking when can we invest?
It's most popular question. And it's so funny to ask every time there is no token, but people don't understand it because they are asking that there is no token yet.
yeah, exactly.
No, there is no token at all. Is it private sale? No, please stop.
And then I think you have a really good GIF for that, which now is more actual because the person in the GIF sadly has passed away. But it's what impact does that have to not have a token on the project long term? What difference does it make?
It makes everything easier to do. I mean, first of all, it makes our collaboration process with another projects more easier because we are not focusing on making some speculation.
Like something that only benefits you, for example, like token wise.
Yeah. There's only focus on monetization via cash flow, for example, and it is topic of interest for all chains, which are target chains, because they are seeing that, okay, this is a nice opportunity, we can join, we can generate cash flow as Oracle or as provider for transfer, but at the same time, our token will be available on all integrated chains automatically, and we can participate in that project. And it is our like benefits. And so in that case, we are building this interoperability. So yeah, I think it is nice to have right now. But of course, I'm expecting to see more projects on top of Gravity, which are solving more sophisticated problems like liquidity of wrap tokens and incentivization, different type of cross-chain applications, cross-chain lending, etc. Privacy solutions as well, because we don't have it in our technology right now, and we wanna like cover our weaknesses, technological weaknesses as well. So in that case, basically, governance based on reputation can solve most of the problems. But after that, we are opening space for creating a lot of applications we can even imagine right now. But most of them will focus on composability, of course.
Yeah, of course. Would I be right by saying that by not having a Gravity token, that actually if the network, like, or the cumulative functionality of that, like whole infrastructure of Gravity and then all other chains that are connected, that if the solution of Gravity does really well, that rather than having one token benefit, all tokens that are connected benefit in a way? Is that correct to say so?
Of course, because multi-token system bring utility to all integrated tokens as well.
Yeah.
And for example, you can mention our partnership with Band, because they have their own Oracle network, etc. It sounds illogical to do any kind of integration with them, but to be honest, they have their tokenomics, and being oracles, they can offer for users to use their tokenomics or another tokenomics, like paying in stable coins or native currency or whatever.
Yeah.
It is opening opportunities for people. It is opening a lot of space for choice.
Would it also open opportunities for Suterusu, for example? So let's say Gravity has, like,
of course,
you have a connection. You have like Gravity announced a partnership with Tron, with Ontology, with Band Protocol. Like, let's say that these partnerships go really well, and there's a few use cases that are really growing. As a network, Suterusu could essentially benefit from the growth of that network by just getting a larger use case to tap into, essentially.
Yeah, of course, it can be started as a token swap for all supported chain. So it brings more liquidity, more use cases, and also it can be used as a payment token for oracles. For example, if we have like subset of oracles specialized
if users would prefer to
privacy,
something like anonymous or absolutely,
or provide liquidity, etc. So if you are not closing borders, it's you have a lot of like combinations, like legal of different projects, and of course there is a DeFi hype right now, and they are doing legal, like a lot of projects they are doing same legal constructors. Like, this is a DEX, this is a lending, and this is a DAO. We can switch them like in different directions, introduce farming, and here is a new project, and you can just do it like every day. Change parameters, change narratives, change logo from pineapple. Yeah, pineapple, yam, like different, like there's a lot of things you can show, even like cup, whatever, like cup token. I mean, it's just a different combination, but
nothing interesting here. Maybe,
but we are losing potential of cross-chain interoperability. Yeah. We are losing potential of composability and different types of projects which aren't based on those primitives, like DAO, lending, and DEXs. Like, it's not anything. It covers so few cases actually which people need, and in that case we have to improve infrastructure to have a chance like build something new and much cooler than we have now.
Sorry to interrupt. I was looking at things that I have here lying around. Want to see a picture of my grandmother like 50 years ago, maybe 40?
Nice.
Talk
about style, right? Here, this one too. I'm not sure even like when this is, but it looks funny.
We can see it. We can see it.
Ah, it's
just
blurred
like,
out. Interesting.
yeah.
I need to stay in the picture.
Machine learning.
Machine learning. Yes. Sorry for the intermezzo. I thought it was funny. So I just want to make that very clear. Like essentially Gravity then becomes like a network that for projects like Suterusu or other projects, from the moment that they join, they essentially get access to almost like a light switch approach, like all the functionality that every project is sort of like. Of course, this is interoperability in general, right? Like this is not just Gravity, it's the aim of Cosmos and Polkadot and name a bunch.
Of course, there's a lot of it.
But the difference here is that in all those other functionalities, it's the token of the project that benefits the most from that growth. And here it's actually like an aligned vision of we're working together towards something specific, and we get a shared benefit from that, essentially. That's what I'm trying to like emphasize, because I think it's important for people to understand like what precisely that partnership is, because Suterusu is trying to bring something very specifically, but they actually benefit a lot also from doing that together, essentially, in a very different way than with other interoperability protocols.
Yeah.
That's correct, right, Aleksei?
Yeah, of course. And, as Aleksei just mentioned, perhaps if you put it very simply, right, Gravity sort of becomes the chain without the token, right?
Yeah. So
I think one of the most important, functionality that is provided by chaining is basically a price oracle. Or more generally, it's about a data feed, right? Price data is basically a form of data. Right? It's a very specific kind of data, basically. And whenever data is involved, there's privacy is involved, right? Because if I send you data, I leak some kind of information to you, right? And zero-knowledge proof basically is a kind of information control technology. So what I mean by that, it means I can control very specifically what kind of information I can leak to you, right? That's a very interesting example. Let's say, I want to prove to you that my age is between 30 and 40, but I don't tell you exactly how old I am, right? This is something you can use.
This is the ideal functionality for women. Like I am between 8
yeah, exactly.
and above. Yeah.
In that case, you can run a zero-knowledge proof protocol, which you can prove exactly. I'm the age between this fundamental range, but without telling you exactly how old I am. And I think when you integrate protocols such as Suterusu, we can definitely work towards that direction. We can provide more sophisticated kinds of data feed protocol that can both preserve the privacy of individuals while still provide the data that is exact love for your service, basically.
Yeah.
So you can ask like 10 times and you'll find the right answer. Like just change the borders and you can be sure of the age. But yeah, it's a really powerful technology actually. So much potential, even enterprise potential. It's not hype of enterprise right now, but who is actually most of sponsor of privacy? It is enterprise, because they're even in public space, which is blockchain. They are losing a lot of things.
I have lots of friends working for giant companies like Alibaba, Ant Financial is about to go public in a few days, I believe. For instance, like Ping Insurance, they are all working on zero-knowledge proof, MPC, multi-party communication these days.
Yeah.
So our technology is not restricted to the blockchain sphere actually, or privacy preserved traffic. The sky is the limit.
So
the sky is the start. There's a saying, if you shoot for the moon, you'll like land in the stars, which is like that's a good approach, I would say.
Well said.
Maybe a concrete like question, like maybe a final question from my side, like what are the next steps for like the partnership between like Gravity and Suterusu, like concretely speaking, technically speaking, like what are you guys like going to take as steps, concretely speaking, to like launch this, and then what follows after that?
I can answer actually, because and after that, Juan, if you wanna, you can add. Is it okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
So first of all, we have to finish our the net version of Gravity, and we are trying to provide like most easy user experience of how to run the node. I mean, it should be like as easy as possible, one-click deployment, etc. And after that, we'll also be part of Suterusu network. We also will look at the way how to secure this network as well. This is the first steps, actually, like initial setup. We'll do that. We'll try to find any kind of problems we'll find, etc. We'll try to solve it. After that, then we are actually users of each network of each others. We'll start to do how to create an integration. Of course, first of all, it will be like centralized like version, because there will be like centralized server, like IP keys, etc. We'll try to do some kind of prototype of different like products. But after that, I prefer to ask community which applications they wanna see with that combination. And but this will be like most important step, because right now we are building infrastructure. Me and Suterusu, we both are building infrastructure, but we have to ask people and engineers and product managers, etc., what kind of products will have much benefits.
What do they want to see first, essentially?
Yeah, but it's actually not only want to see, but also is it possible to implement, because there's a lot of like problems how to do that. Yeah. And after that, doing research together, like different type of synchronization calls, etc., about which projects can be really possible to do. And after that, just prioritize it and make it and help with the expansion. I think we will do a lot of competitions together, development competitions. Because
we can do some hackathons, for example.
Yeah, because it is actually it is cool in both sides, because you are doing like marketing at the same time you are making results, and you have some new community members, mostly technically oriented, and this is actually fuel for growth. This is a fuel for creating applications, dApps, and spread knowledge, not in traders community, but in developers community. So in that case, building this kind of network of developers who knows different aspects of technology is a crucial thing. I'm a developer mostly, and I know how it is important. I mean, like I'm not a trader, since I told you, like since I lost my investment. I'm not a trader, but I'm using like mostly stable coins, etc. So I'm not interested in most of discussions about like to the moon, etc. But I'm really interested in technology, and there is so few spaces to find proper competitions, proper materials, etc. for that. So in that case, I think we will solve this problem, and we'll add more content, educational content, and like different researches. I don't know, probably we can also initiate some kind of research together, but yeah, it's just how things will go. First of all, our steps are like do
technical
some kind
integration, and then like community expansion, like based on what direction they want to see. Huang, you agree with that?
I think Aleksei said has a very great plan. I think I totally agree with you guys, and this is very well said.
Nothing to add, Aleksei. You said it perfectly.
I look forward to working with you guys.
We should take a recording. We should take a recording of what just happened and send it to your wife and say, like, see, sometimes I am right, and then you can keep it. No, this I think this gave, at least it gave me a good view on how both projects are trying to like achieve their vision and where you guys come from. I don't know, do you guys have a question for each other, maybe like as a final question, or do we wrap it off here? You want to ask each other something really difficult that the other one can't answer?
You know, after this talk, I have very great confidence, you know, in the future success of Gravity protocol, and you know, since Gravity is still in the private sale phase, I wonder, you know,
can I get an allocation?
Yeah, can I get a piece of this, this token sale?
Yeah. Please don't distribute that in Chinese investor spheres, because then
of course,
get a lot of messages.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Yeah, but
we can talk offline. If you guys.
After some interview, we have like hundreds of people joined and asked, and it was really terrible night because I was like, don't talk in discussion, please. Like, yeah, it was very strange. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I think it is actually our fault here because we have to be more focused on explanations, that thing, and probably how somehow automate it or explain that all tokens of partners actually.
But it's complex. It's not just the fault of Gravity. I think it's complex because people are so well structured of blockchain, crypto, project, token, private sale, moon. It's like you have that structure, right? And people don't expect there not to be a token. Cool. No, thank you so much for your time. Because I think we have to wrap it up here. If we guys want to talk more, we can always schedule a second one, and then bring the wives and the girlfriends.
We'll do that in person.
In person. Yeah, of course. No, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing how this starts, and then maybe once we've done all the technical integrations from both sides, maybe we can have another one like to follow up on this. Thank you, Huang Lin, for your time. Aleksei, same for you. My name is Sten once again, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.